MGTV, η ομογένεια κοντά σας.
Good evening, May 23rd, 2017, in New York City at Cornell Medical College. We are all proud to be sponsoring the annual Dr. Papanikolaou Symposium.
Tonight we are honoring Dr. Papantoniou from Greece. He is a professor in high-risk obstetrics, and we are looking forward to a wonderful seminar by him. He is a wonderfully accomplished fellow Greek colleague, and we are so thrilled to have him here.
This year we have the professor of gynecology from the University of Athens, Dr. Nikolaos Papantoniou, speaking to us about chromosomal changes with pregnancy. And we are honoring Dr. Papanikolaou, as you all know, every year, because he is one of the best known physicians of all ages, and particularly of modern ages. He's of Hellenic heritage. He was professor at the university, Cornell University, for almost 50 years. He received the Lasker Award, which is the highest scientific award in medicine in the United States, and was proposed for the Nobel Prize. Dr. Papanikolaou passed away in 1962 in Miami, and there we have the statue of Dr. Papanikolaou today. This Dr. Papanikolaou Symposium is every year. The Hellenic Medical Society has a Hellenic Medical Society fund for Dr. Papanikolaou, for a medical student of Hellenic heritage at Weill Medical College, that we give out every year. And we also give out awards to high school students who have written an essay on Dr. Papanikolaou and are interested in science.
We want the youngsters, the organization of the Greek teachers, want to make our Greek American students connect with the life and the work of Dr. Papanikolaou. And through this connection, they will get inspired. We had many students who wrote beautiful essays. Every year we have this contest and we give awards. Prometheus, the Greek Teachers Society, does not have money to give all these awards. But we have the trust of the people. Every door that we knock, they said yes, we will give 250. And I'm very proud to say, very happy, that this year we have 9 sponsors giving each one $250, and some of them are giving 2 awards whose names you are going to hear. So let's give a nice applause to all the youngsters who spend a lot of time. And they wrote their essays in Greek. That was the requirement, 5 pages in Greek and 1 page with pictures. So every student wrote on the last page how Papanikolaou influenced the student, how he felt as a student, as a Greek American. Amazing things that they wrote at the epilogues. So anyway, let's start with the students, because the students are our future.
Καλή σας πέρα, είναι μεγάλη χαρά και τιμή που βρίσκομαι σήμερα εδώ, καλεσμένος από την Ένωση Ελλήνων Αμερικανών Ιατρών της Νέας Υόρκης και φαντάζομαι και της Βόρειο Αμερικής, η Association. Εγώ προέρχομαι από το Πανεπιστήμιο Αθηνών, είμαι καθηγητής μευτικής γυναικολογίας. Έχω υπηρετήσει όλη μου την καριέρα στο Πανεπιστήμιο Αθηνών και έχω εστιάσει στην προγεννητική διάγνωση και θεραπεία, στο high risk pregnancy, στο maternal fetal medicine. Με κάλεσε ο καθηγητής Τσέβαινα και ο πρόεδρος ο κ. Μεζίτης να δώσω μια διάλεξη στα πλαίσια του ετήσιου συμποσίου, στον οποίο επί τη ευκαιρία θέλω να συγχαρώ και δημόσια την Ένωση για την δημιουργία αυτού του ετήσιου συμποσίου στο όνομα του μεγάλου Γιώργου Παπανικολαου, που μας τιμά σαν Έλληνες και έχει δώσει τόσα πολλά στην ιατρική και στην ανθρωπότητα. Και το θέμα της διάλεξης θα είναι screening στο πρώτο τρίμηνο της εγκυμοσύνης για χρωμοσωμικές ανομαλίες και για προεκλαμψία. Ο Γιώργος Παπανικολαου είναι ο εδραιωτής κατά την άποψή μου του screening, που άρχισε με το screening των γυναικών για προφύλαξη από καρκίνο του τραχύλου της μήτρας και ακολούθησαν άλλες διάφορες μορφές screening παγκόσμια, όπως με την ακτινογραφία θώρακος για τη φυματίωση και πολλά άλλες μορφές screening. Στη μευτική υπάρχουν screening τουλάχιστον για τη γυναικολογία τουλάχιστον για 10 διαφορετικά πράγματα. Σήμερα θα εστιάσουμε στην προγεννητική διάγνωση στο πρώτο τρίμηνο, invasively και non-invasively, και για την προεκλαμψία, που όπως ξέρετε είναι η δεύτερη αιτία θανάτου εγγύων γυναικών ακόμα και σήμερα. Υπάρχουν πολλά καινούργια πράγματα και αυτά θα σας πω σήμερα όσον αφορά την προγεννητική διάγνωση, ιδιαίτερα στην προεκλαμψία, η οποία είναι μία νόσος, παλιά θεωρούσαμε αγνώστη αιτιολογία, σήμερα ξέρουμε αρκετά τον παθοφυσιολογικό μηχανισμό. Όπως είπαμε, είναι η δεύτερη-τρίτη αιτία θανάτου γυναικών. Αν θεωρήσουμε ότι στην Αμερική η πρώτη αιτία θανάτου γυναικών είναι ο καρκίνος των οθικών, όσον αφορά την εγκυμοσύνη, μετά την αιμορραγία, οι επιπλοκές της προεκλαμψίας, που είναι μια νόσος στην οποία οι έγκυες σηκώνουν πολύ ψηλή πίεση και δημιουργείται μια γενικότερη διαταραχή στον οργανισμό, με πολυσυστηματικές βλάβες, οι οποίες αν δεν ελεγχθούν έγκαιρα, οι γυναίκες αυτές κινδυνεύουν ακόμα και να πεθάνουν. Συνεπώς, να το ξέρεις αυτό από το πρώτο τρίμηνο και να δώσεις την κατάλληλη θεραπεία, και έχει βρεθεί σήμερα η κατάλληλη θεραπεία, όπως θα ακούσετε, και είναι το μαγικό φάρμακο η ασπιρίνη 150 μιλιγκράμμ από τη 12η εβδομάδα της εγκυμοσύνης σε υψηλού κινδύνου κύησης. Επίσης, σήμερα δράτω με τις ευκαιρίες αυτής να πω και δύο λόγια για το Διεθνές Ιπποκράτειο Ίδρυμα της ΚΟΡ, στο οποίο είμαι γραμματέας στο Διοικητικό Συμβούλιο. Θα δείξω μερικές διαφάνειες. Είναι ένα σημαντικό foundation institution που έχουμε στην Ελλάδα. Ο επίτιμος πρόεδρος του Ιπποκρατείου, ο συμπατριώτης μας Έλληνο-Αμερικανός, ο κ. Μόσχος, είναι εδώ μαζί μας σήμερα. Και στο τέλος θα πω και δύο λόγια για το Ίδρυμα και τους σκοπούς του, και θα ήταν χαρά μας να έχει περισσότερα μέλη και να ενταχθεί στην όλη διαδικασία, να μπουν μέσα και οι Έλληνο-Αμερικάνοι γιατροί σε αυτή τη διαδικασία.
So tonight we'll have the student award, we'll have the speeches from the representative of the Πανεπιστήμιου Society, Dr. Παπανικολαου was from Evia. We'll have Dr. Nicholas Papadoniou from the University of Athens speak to us in the scientific lecture and receive the Grand Παπανικολαου Award. And we would like to thank Cornell University and Weill Medical College for their support, the Πανεπιστήμιου Society, Dr. Frank Chervenak, who is the chairman of obstetrics gynecology here, and he has been a great supporter of the society and the Dr. Παπανικολαου Symposium.
Come to the podium, Dr. George Liakias, who's the president of the Hellenic Medical Society of New York in his second term, very successful, and we're honored to have him here with us tonight. Dr. George, please come.
Once again, specifically I wanted to thank Dr. Mezittis, without whom this event would not get the attention that it does. It is, yes, thank you. Thank you, of course, to everybody that's involved in organizing it. I wanted to remind everyone in this room that the Hellenic Medical Society is here with its mission primarily being not just to spread the cultural events of people of Hellenic descent, but primarily to give scholarships to medical students, high school students as well, but medical students and students of the sciences in graduate schools. That is very, very important to us. It's very important to me, and it's always a shock or sad if I find that somebody has finished a graduate degree or medical degree and has not heard about the scholarship opportunities that the Hellenic Medical Society offers. So I implore all of you here to really make that an important part of speaking to anyone who is in school. We are here, we are thrilled to be here, we are thrilled to serve and to be mentors for all of the young people that are here tonight. But for anyone that is not here and doesn't know about us, it's everybody's job in this room to spread that message. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for all of the guests here tonight, and of course to our honored speaker and to Mr. Koubarakis, who came to represent the consulate. You know, it's a big deal. This is our ethnic identity, and again, this is for me a very important part of my life, and I'm just happy to spend it with this part of my family, all of you here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, George. And I would like also to mention here Manos Koubarakis, who is our consul here in New York, the general consul representing Greece, has been very active with us and with the organizations, the Greek American organizations. And I would like to congratulate him for all the hard work and being here with us tonight. And he's been here before, and he's seen how we've been progressing. Representing Cornell tonight, we have the Chief Administrator of the Endowment Fund, Ms. Ashley Kaufman here. Thank you for being here tonight, Kaufman. And I'd like to say a few things about the Hellenic Medical Society Scholarship Fund. We have a scholarship fund here at Cornell in the amount of $150,000 that is mainly sponsored by the Hellenic Medical Society of New York. And we have been giving out medical student scholarships to a medical student of Hellenic heritage and in need here at Weill Medical College. This year, we did not have a student who meets both of these criteria. We do have excellent medical students of Hellenic heritage, so we will be trying next year to give the scholarship out to a medical student of Hellenic heritage and financial need. Also, I want to acknowledge the officials here present. I want to say that we have Dr. Frank Chervenak here, who's the head of OBGYN, Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. And Frank has been very instrumental in finding speakers, helping us out with the organization here. He's worked together with us for years. He's been a recipient of the award with other members of the group here at the Department of OBGYN, Dr. Frank Caputo and Dr. Zervoudakis, who recently passed away. He was a noted member of our Hellenic Medical Society of New York. And I would like further to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Professor Triadafilou, who's worked very hard every year for 42 years, we're saying, speaking on Dr. Papanikolaou, and has been always present with the tonight, he will be introducing the recipients, the high school recipients of Dr. Papanikolaou Award. So Dr. Papanikolaou, as you all know, has been one of the giants of modern medicine. We're very proud that he's of Hellenic heritage, of course. And he came to the Department of Anatomy at Cornell Medical College in 1914. And he was the founder of the Greek American Fraternity in 1920. And in 1928, he developed the Pap test and is the father of exfoliative cytology. He died at the age of 79 in 1962 in Miami. And there's the statue of Dr. Papanikolaou in Miami. Here we have a picture with the bust of Dr. Papanikolaou that you saw downstairs some time ago. With the chief consul at the time, with the archbishop there, and members of the Hellenic societies. We also have trees that were planted here, brought from Greece, and planted in memory of Dr. George Papanikolaou. And I'd like also to say, in memoriam to Dr. Vasilas, who was past president of the Hellenic Medical Society of New York and passed away recently, in the past few weeks. Dr. Vasilas was chairman of radiology at downtown Beekman Hospital, and he was very instrumental in establishing and continuing the Dr. Papanikolaou Symposium, among other things. So the Medical Society Fund started in 1998, and you see here the different amounts of monies that have been added up now, adding up to the $150,000 capital. And that accounts for about $7,000 for a medical student of Hellenic heritage per year. So please donate to the Hellenic Medical Society of New York for the Dr. Papanikolaou Scholarship. Here you see a list of the awardees from the year 1999 to 2014. The names of the students who were students here. Some of these doctors now practice in New York and are members of our society. In 2003, when we officially started running the Dr. Papanikolaou Symposium annually, our first awardee was Dr. Leopold Koss. He was chairman emeritus of pathology at Albert Einstein, and he gave us a historical perspective of Dr. Papanikolaou. And Dr. Frank Chervenak spoke at that time, some years ago. And Dr. Vasiliki Tsaitas, who's here with us tonight, she's medical director of laboratories at Pascagoula Valley Hospital. She's also helped us many times in organizing and speaking at this symposium. Professor Triantafylou will speak to us later. He was involved with a Hippocratic tree that you saw before, and with Dr. George Papanikolaou's history. Dr. Bibo spoke at the 2004 Dr. Papanikolaou Symposium from Jefferson Medical College, my alma mater. She's director of cytopathology at Thomas Jefferson University Hospital in Philadelphia. And Dr. Caputo, professor and vice chairman of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, spoke to us on new developments in the treatment of cervical cancer. In 2005, we had a speakers, Dr. Zervoudakis and Dr. Lorraine Chrysomalis, who's here with us tonight, who's a gynecologist, practicing gynecologist here in the city. Had a great talk on an update on the Pap smear. In 2006, we had Dr. Paul Elgert, who was a cytopathology supervisor at NYU, Anna Di Gregorio, and again, Dr. Triantafylou presented the educational value of Dr. Papanikolaou. In 2007, it was multicultural, as you see here, several people speaking, and this was well taken. We had several people talking to us about cancer and cell-based therapies. There was some connection to Dr. Papanikolaou. In 2008, we had Dr. Hajar talk to us about angiogenesis in health and disease. She was chairman of anatomy here and continues here at the medical college. And there was also representation from Greece, Dr. Margari, who spoke to us about the cytopathologist legacy of Dr. Papanikolaou. In 2009, we had Professor Harald Zurhausen from the German National Cancer Center, who was 2008 Nobel laureate in medicine, speak to us about HPV and cervical cancer. That was at the Eurus Auditorium. We had more than 300 people present at that time. And past president, Dr. George Tsoulias, had organized this, and thank you, George, for being here with us tonight. In 2012, Dr. Caputo was the recipient of the Papanikolaou Award. Dr. Hora, who used to be here heading the Dr. Papanikolaou Cytology Laboratory, spoke to us about advances in Pap testing, and we also had representation from the pharmaceutical industry with Dr. Petros Tsipouras. So Dr. Koutifaris was our recipient in 2014. He's professor and vice chairman of gynecology at the University of Pennsylvania, and he was actually baptized by Dr. George Papanikolaou. So this was very interesting. Dr. Hajar, the chairman of anatomy in 2015, was the recipient, and last year, Dr. Apostolos Thanasiadis from the University of Thessaloniki, northern Greece, was the recipient, who's also a very good friend of Dr. Chervenak's. This was a letter that was written to us last year from Thessaloniki by Dr. Maria Nasioudziki on behalf of the Hellenic Society of Clinical Cytology to congratulate us and to remind us of the work of Dr. Papanikolaou and the relationship to Hellenic medicine. So there is a great legacy of Dr. Papanikolaou, not only the Pap test and cytology studies, and being here in the Department of Anatomy, but also in establishing societies of professionals of Hellenic heritage. He is founder of the Hellenic Medical Society of New York, founded in 1936. And his legacy has also played a role in the establishment of the Federation of Hellenic Medical Societies of North America in 2002 in Montreal. that I founded, and of global Hellenic biomedical networks that are going on strong. So by this brief narrative here, I would like to continue with Mrs. Sula Podara, who's president of the Panevoiko Society of America, to come forward, and Mr. Tony Ringo, he will be speaking to us a little bit about Dr. Papanikolaou, or you will do that.
Hello everybody. We're also here to greet this symposium. We are representing the Panevoiko Society of America, which is a society that represents the island of Evia, the birthplace of the late Dr. George Papanikolaou. No matter how many years pass, we will always honor the life and work of Dr. Pap and his wife Mary, to never forget their sacrifice and to inspire future generations to offer major works for humanity. Mr. Tony Rigos is a member of our society, and he is from the Evia also, and he will give us a brief bio about Dr. Papanikolaou.
As Ms. Podara said, it's going to be very brief, just a little on his life. I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I am speaking on behalf of the Panevoiko Society. I gave this speech last week as well to the Philadelphia Medical Association. Dr. cardiologist, Dr. Elias Iliadis invited me, so I was honored to do that. I'll start by saying Dr. George Papanikolaou was born in Kymi, town in the island of Evia in Greece, on May 13th, 1883. After he completed elementary school in Kymi, his father, Dr. Nicholas Papanikolaou, a medical doctor as well, sent him to high school in Athens. And after high school, he attended the University of Athens and studied languages, philosophy, and music. When he graduated, then he attended the Medical School of Athens. After he obtained a medical degree, he returned to Kymi, but he didn't want to practice medicine there. Dr. Papanikolaou had a passion to achieve something unique. He left Greece to go to the University of Munich in Germany for postgraduate studies. And then he returned to Kymi after that, and he got married in the meantime to Miss Mary Mavroyeni. After getting married, since there were very few professional options available in town of Kymi, or anywhere else in Greece for that matter, Dr. Papanikolaou went to France, where he worked as a physiologist. After some time, he returned to Greece to serve in the army during the Balkan War in 1912. While serving in the Greek army, he met Greek-American volunteers who had told him about the vast opportunities that America had to offer. Due to his encounter with Greek Americans, he came to the US in 1913. Due to the economic conditions, life in America was difficult for him. Initially, he sold carpets and played the violin in restaurants at night. His wife also worked to help ends meet by working at gimbals. I don't think any of you young people know what gimbals are. Stitching buttons for $5 a week. A year later, in 1914, he started working here at Cornell University. At Cornell University, he worked very hard, between 6 to 7 days a week for almost 50 years. His wife, Mary, was always by his side. She worked as his lifelong partner and research assistant. As a result, Mary became proficient as a technician in her own right. It was at Cornell University where Dr. Papanikolaou worked examining vaginal smears of guinea pigs to determine the existence of a menstrual cycle. It was doing that work that he noticed cancer cells coming from the cervix. In 1939, the reevaluation of the vaginal smear for cancer detection began. At all New York hospitals, all women patients were required to take a routine vaginal smear. And Dr. Papanikolaou authored about 150 publications throughout his life and received many honors and awards. On February 18th, 1962, Dr. Papanikolaou died of heart failure. Throughout the years, millions of women have received the Pap test, and because of his work, deaths from uterine cancer have greatly reduced. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony and Spodara, for the nice presentation here. Now we're at the time where we're going to be giving out the awards to the students, high school students. These are student essay awards that Professor Demosthenis Triantafylou, President of the Greek Teachers Association, Promethos, will be doing. So, Dr. Triantafylou, please come.
Κύριε Γενικέ, Πρόεδρε των Συλλόγων, Διευθύντριες και Διευθυντές των Σχολείων, αγαπητοί συνάδελφοι, αγαπητά παιδιά, αγαπητοί γονείς. I'm standing in front of you at this moment, and my most beautiful experience with Dr. Papanikolaou vividly appears in front of my mind. It was in 1961 when I came here as a student from New York University to hear Dr. Papanikolaou giving a speech, the famous Dr. Papanikolaou in 1961. Ladies and gentlemen, since then, Dr. Papanikolaou is in my heart, and he lives with me and I live with him. I have been inspired by Dr. Papanikolaou because as a graduate student majoring in philosophy and history of science, I used Dr. Papanikolaou's discovery as a paradigm of my thesis. How do the scientists make scientific discoveries? What is the logic behind the scientific discoveries? Is there a logic behind the scientific discoveries? This was the topic, the theme, the idea, the concept that attracted me to Dr. Papanikolaou. How did Dr. Papanikolaou make his discovery? Dr. Papanikolaou never dreamed of working for cancer. He did not specialize in cancer. He specialized in zoology. His main topic and theme of scientific research was the chromosomes. In 1910 and 1914 in Europe, the main idea was how do we get a boy and how do we get a girl? What determines the sex? What determines the sex of the newborn? Where does the female come from? Where does the male come from? That was the main topic, the main idea of Dr. Papanikolaou. And that was his doctorate thesis in Germany. He was one of the pioneers to discover that there were certain chemicals on the chromosomes. And that's how he got his PhD degree. And that's how he came to America, because Morgan, Dr. Morgan, who was the famous geneticist at Columbia University, he wrote the first book on genetics in 1912. And in that book, you're going to see that Dr. Morgan is using quotations, results of the research papers of Dr. Papanikolaou in Germany. So when Dr. Papanikolaou came here, Dr. Morgan introduced him to this hospital, and he took a job in the anatomy department. Ladies and gentlemen, and especially our youngsters, you can make a discovery when you grow up, no matter what grades you get in your school. Dr. Papanikolaou was not an A student. He was not an A student. And he never dreamed of making a discovery. His discovery was coincidental. It is what I call serendipity. Serendipity. How did he make his discovery? So that you know, because that's the inspiration that I got from Dr. Papanikolaou, he was able to conceive theoretically and conceptually a connection between two events, A and B, a connection. Can you, as researchers in the future, discover a connection between A and B? That's how he made the discovery. He had that particular intellectual capacity to connect things. He saw the presence of cells with big nuclei, and they said, well, how come these ladies die, and how come these ladies have in the uterine liquid cells with big nuclei? And he connected one with the other. These big nuclei are the cells of cancer. All these ladies are dying of cancer. Therefore, what do? Let's check the liquid to see if there are cells of this type. If there are cells, then there is cancer. So it was a connection. He made a connection, but he never dreamed. It was coincidental. So this is the inspiration of Dr. Papanikolaou for all the young people. You never know when you're going to make a discovery, but you have to be dedicated. You have to give yourself to science. As Dr. MEZITΗ said, or the president of Πανεβοϊκός, he never went on vacation. My wife was in the oncology clinic today, Brackner, up in the Bronx. And I was there because I take her there for chemotherapy twice a week. So next week she cannot go for chemotherapy. Why not? They said Jewish holidays, the doctors are not coming to work. And I said to Dr. Brackner, very famous oncologist, Dr. Brackner, Dr. Papanikolaou never took a day off. Even on Sundays, he never went to the church. And the Archbishop Iakouvos, was very mad at him because he never went to the church to present him to the Greek community. They did not like him because he did not used to go to the church. Anyway, we want the youngsters, the organization of the Greek teachers, want to make our Greek American students connect with the life and the work of Dr. Papanikolaou. And through this connection, they will get inspired. We had many students who wrote beautiful essays. Every year we have this contest and we give awards. Prometheus, the Greek Teachers Society, does not have money to give all these awards, but we have the trust of the people. Every door that we knock, they said yes, we will give 250. And I'm very proud to say, very happy, that this year we have 9 sponsors giving each one $250, and some of them are giving 2 awards whose names you are going to hear. So let's give a nice applause to all the youngsters who spend a lot of time. And they wrote their essays in Greek. That was the requirement, 5 pages in Greek and 1 page with pictures. So, in Greek, I would like to give you all the essays that they wrote, and when you have time, I want you to read them. Because every student wrote on the last page how Papanikolaou influenced the student, how he felt as a student, as a Greek American. Amazing things that they wrote at the epilogues. So anyway, let's start with the students because the students are our future. Anastasiou Despina from the Afternoon School of St. Demetrius will receive the Δρα Γεωργιου Dr. Nathanas. We are going to have all the students and the sponsors here to take a picture of all of them. This is the award that the Greek Teachers Society Association Prometheus, which was founded in 1975, is the only professional Greek Teachers Association Prometheus in New York City. There is no other organization representing the Greek teachers in New York City. I want each one here to know that. So this is for the Prometheus Award. You may hold it like this for the picture later. And Dr. Athan and Dr. Nathanas, we have the money? Yes. I love it. The second student is Eleni Vardaki from the high school, Paramos High School, and the afternoon school of Ascension and Análυψη στο Φέργιο. Eleni, and she receives the βραβείο of Dr. Vasilikis Saitas. Alexandros Theophanopoulos from Francis Lewis High School, βραβείο Christou Rizou, award of Christou Rizou will be given by the ex-president of the Prometheus, Timoleon Kokinos, and member of the board of Prometheus. The next one, Katerina Gini from Harrison High School, from Harrison, Katerina Gili. And she receives, Dr. Andronopoulos will give the Prometheus and also the check. I'm sorry. Next, Georgios Panaousis, George Panaousis, Francis Louis High School. And we have here from San Francis High School here, who do we have here, teacher? Francis High School, a teacher here. Teacher here. Please, we would like to recognize you, your names. Nenopi Bagela. Congratulations, very good. And he also receives the award from Dr. Nathanas. Then we have Daphne Sardis from Fort Lee High School. Fort Lee High School. And she's also a graduate of the Greek afternoon in Fairview a few years ago. Congratulations, Daphne. And the award from Dr. Saitas. And we have the next one is Stathopoulos Avram Stathopoulos from Archbishop Malloy High School. Archbishop Malloy High School. And San Nicholas High School, San Nicholas in Flushing, where he finished the Greek school. And he is receiving the award of my nephew, Dr. Nick Triandafilou, who is a gastroenterologist in Bayside. Then the next one is Tsagaris Evangelia, the award from Friderikis Ayani. Friderikis Ayani, an educator, biology. We took many courses together in the history of science, principal of a few Greek schools. And now we are coming to Panayota Tseisen from San Dimitrios High School in Astoria. And the award that you're receiving is the Greek Congress. Hellenic Congress is a new organization, and we have the treasurer here, Dr. George Menikokis, who is going to present. One of the students wants to go into medicine. Who was the student who wanted to read something? Dr. Mezidi said, we'll allow you because you're going into medicine.
I am honored to be here tonight as a part of this beautiful medical community. Dr. Papanikolaou, rest his soul, was one of the many brilliant doctors in history who contributed to the beauty of what we know as the human body. His research is what doctors of our generation today are building upon as we speak. And it is his research that paved the way for us, bringing us a couple steps closer to a completely healed world. Now, I'm not a doctor yet, but that's amazing. I want to thank everyone here tonight, my parents and teachers for being here for me and supporting me along my journey. And I consider this night as a token of promise and hope, a symbol of motivation towards the long and rocky road, which is medicine, for many people who want to embark on that journey as well. It is a long and rocky road, but it is worth it in the end, because we get to save lives. So thank you, the President, and the Comité.
Excellent. We're all very enthusiastic, and this should continue. Dr. Triandafilou, we hope next year we have more students. So next we'll start with a scientific program, and I'd like to have Dr. Frank Chervenak here, our chairman of obstetrics gynecology at Cornell, very well noted physician and supporter of the Hellenic Medical Society and Hellenism. He's going to introduce Dr. Nicholas Papaya.
Spiros, thank you. First, I want to say congratulations to you and to George and everyone here. This is truly a thing of beauty, especially to see so many young minds coming forward. Can we give a special thanks to SPYRO? And of all the specialties, I think it's fair to say OBGYN has been a special beneficiary of Professor Papanicolaou. It's been transformative. His discoveries have been transformative to what we do in our area. So we owe a special debt to this person, so we're proud to work with you in this important endeavor. And the best way we can honor him is to bring the best people in the world to this important evening. And it's my pleasure to present to you Professor Nikos Papantonio. He comes from a noble pedigree of several generations of doctors, and indeed his father was born on the island of Kos, the island of Hippocrates. Nikos had a love of medicine. He always wanted medicine. He went to the University of Athens. He then spent some time as Hammersmith. I only have great things to say about Nikos. I guess his only flaw is that during his time in Hammersmith, he developed to speak English with a little British, not an American accent. But we'll forgive him for that. That's the only flaw of this wonderful, wonderful person. He devoted his life in Greece. He rose through the ranks. He's been extraordinarily prolific with over 100 publications in the peer-reviewed literature, many books. He's a leader in maternal fetal medicine. I've known him for decades. He's respected in the international community. It's been my pleasure and privilege to work with him in the international societies. And most important, he's a family man. His lovely wife is with him this evening. Please, thank you. He has 3 children that he's especially proud of, 4 grandchildren. And in the spirit of Papanicolaou, he's going to speak on a theme that I'm sure the father of screening in medicine would be very proud of. He's going to discuss with us the state of the art in obstetrics today of screening in the first trimester for chromosomal problems and preeclampsia. I can't think of a better way to honor Dr. Papanicolaou with Dr. Papantonio. Nico, please come forward.
Good evening from me, everybody. It's a great honor for me to be here in this audience, this Greek-American audience, which is not only medical, it's academic, it's teachers in the school, it's teachers in the universities. And it has been a great experience to see, because both of us, we don't know many things about each other. It's many things I have learned today listening to the introductions of Dr. Mezitฐη and Dr. Gyakeas about the great work these societies are doing here in the United States. I come from the University of Athens that I have served for the past 32 years. My goal will be now to make closer relationships between the University of Athens and the University of Thessaloniki, because Apostolos Athanasiadis is a close friend, and I've seen the other names that have been honored with this distinguished award, like Christos Koutiferis, who's a close friend. And one thing we forgot to say is that Christos' mother was working with Papanicolaou, the late Lina Koutiferis. She was working with George Papanicolaou here. So for me, it's a very significant moment in my career to be here and being awarded this honor, and I thank you all very much for this. I will try to say, can I start the introduction? What we have decided together with Professor Chervenek is to talk about screening in the first trimester in pregnancy. I made another formula of my speech this morning because last evening I gave a purely medical speech here in Cornell. I was invited by Professor Chervenek, and I will try in short time to give you the meaning of screening in obstetrics and gynecology. Once again, thank you for nominating me with this great honor to be here with you tonight. Now, many things have been said about Dr. Papa-Nikolaou. There's almost nothing more for me to say, except of whatever stimuli I had due to my family friendship with the Coutiferi family, and Lina has talked many times about her experience here with George Papa-Nikolaou. And with these two major publications, he became known worldwide. He is undoubtedly the father of screening, and when we say screening, we need a test that is cheap and that it can detect the high-risk population. And for women, pap smear was and is and will be always the most valuable screening test. There are other screening tests like an X-ray for tuberculosis or other screening tests for thalassemia in Greece, etc. But we shall focus in obstetrics and gynecology. And these are the major breakthroughs historically. After Papa-Nikolaou's work, then came colposcopy. Now we are in the era of HPV testing. We will, on another occasion, perhaps on another, we will have the prominent Greek cytologist. I have the pleasure to work with Professor Karakitsos in, I'm working in Attikon General Hospital. Attikon General Hospital, you'll see a couple of pictures later. This is the evolution of Papa-Nikolaou's work nowadays, but it's not our topic today. If we want to say a few words, it was a major investigator. He saved millions. He is a genuine descendant of Hippocrates, and above all, a genuine Greek. And we are all, and will be forever, proud of him and for his achievements. Now, as I told you, I come from the University of Athens. This year we celebrate 150 years of existence. There were many occasions and speeches and like this today to celebrate the 150 years of Athens University. And I come, as I told you before, I work now at, of course I have no any financial or commercial interest in this thing. And we're going to discuss about screening. Now, screening in obstetrics has screening in the first trimester for chromosomal, anatomical, abnormalities. You can do a lot of things, preterm labor, whatever. But on this tonight, I'll try to talk about, to focus on chromosomal abnormalities. Most of you know Down syndrome, and we are focused, but it's not Down syndrome, it's many things. Down syndrome is half of it. And where it's divided in ultrasound screening, biochemical screening, combination of ultrasound and biochemical. Lately has come into our life cell-free fetal DNA and combined algorithms of screening. So we proceed. This is, well, I think most of you must have visited the main building of Athens University, built by Ziller in 1837, as you see here. Operated now is the administrational offices of the rector and the official ceremonies. Like today, a few people have been there. Professor Chervenek a few years ago has been honored with an honorary doctorate in our university, and we are very proud to have him on our list. And the magic numbers will come. This is where I work now. This is Attikon General University Hospital. It's in western Athens. You can see the big city of Athens over there. And it's not a big hospital, not as big for the Greek standards, about 800 beds, has 22 university clinics. And we are on call for more than 1 million population every 4 days. We accept on these days 1,200 new patients. And I'm very happy that it's a full and very capable hospital, and I'm proud to work in that hospital. This is the entrance and another view. This is in my department, maternal fetal medicine, the bit of maternal fetal medicine. This is a labor ward where women deliver babies, and this is our OBGYN maternal fetal medicine operating theater, where we do everything, lasers included. This is the maternal fetal medicine outpatient clinic, and you'll see we have done a lot of work there, and some has been published the last few months, and it's going to be published in New England Journal of Medicine the next few days, things concerning preeclampsia. So as I told you before, screening in the first trimester, 11 to 13 weeks, includes all these things: chromosomal abnormalities, structural deformities, preeclampsia, intrauterine growth restriction, and preterm delivery, but we are going to focus on these two. Now we come to nuchal translucency. I know that many of you are not doctors. I will make it as simple as I can. This is Langton-Down. We all know Down syndrome, but very few know about Langton-Down. Langton-Down was the director of the asylum, in typical English, asylum for idiots, as it was called at that time. And he noticed that these persons, that their IQ was low, they had a flat face, and they had a thick trunk. 126 years later, Kypros Nicolaides decided to investigate that with sonography, and he found a major breakthrough with nuchal translucency. And when we have increased nuchal translucency, and I will show you immediately after what it is, this can be associated with all these pathology: abnormal karyotype, structural deformities, cardiac malformations, and genetic syndromes. Now, that's the famous nuchal translucency. It's a sonolucent area in the trunk of a baby, 11 to 13 weeks. Special way to find it, special way to detect it: you must be certified to give this exam, and if you're not certified, the mechanism of the algorithm that gives you the personal risk of every woman, because every woman is interested, what's my personal risk? I don't know how you measure your nuchal translucency, if it's 2 or 2.2 or 2.5 or 1.5, but I want to know what's my risk for carrying a Down syndrome baby. So in order to be functional, you have to be accredited, and you have to pass exams for that, and you give your results once a year, and they see if you are doing your work properly or if you shouldn't be in that practice. Then around 2001, Cicero, that was an associate with Kypros Nicolaides, found another independent sonographic marker in the first trimester, the nasal bone. Nasal bone is here, and this is absent nasal bone, and the nasal bone has helped us to improve detection rate and decrease false positive rate, because false positive rate meant you have to do an invasive test until a few years ago. And invasive tests have been associated in the past with fetal loss rates. We have proved, it's proven now, the last 10, 15 years, that the risk of amniocentesis is 3 per 1,000. In 1986, they believed 1%. From my department, we have published in year 2000 in prenatal diagnosis that we thought it was 0.3 per 1,000, and this has been verified lately. So we have nuchal translucency and nasal bone for the moment in screening. Then came biochemical markers. Biochemical markers started in the 80s. And before the 80s, the only thing we had was the maternal age. Maternal age more than 35, but about 70% of women used to deliver before the 38 or 35. So we would lose 70% of Down syndrome babies at that time. Then, accidentally, many things come accidental. Accidentally, the British were very meticulous in screening everybody. As we screen for thalassemia, the British screen for neural tube defects with AFP measurements. They had 2 measurements with AFP, alpha fetoprotein 0, and they said, what happened to these babies? And they were Down syndrome babies. So we had a good 10 years of research with biochemical markers, starting from the second trimester and then going to the first trimester. And by the end of the previous millennium, we came with this good result of 90% detection rate with maternal age, nuclear translucency, and maternal serum biochemistry. And this is another typical picture, 90% detection rate if you use all these parameters. This is fetal heart rate, nuclear translucency. They've tried everything in the first trimester after having a decade of biochemical screening in the second trimester, which was mid-80s to mid-90s, and so on. And now, lately, 2011, Kypros Nicolaitis. Kypros Nicolaitis is the president of Fetal Medicine Foundation. It's known worldwide. We have a year congress in next month in Ljubljana, and he has offered a lot in fetal medicine, and with his studies, and that they are widely accepted worldwide. And he came to the same results with 110,000 cases, detection rate 90 plus for 5% false positive rates. Now, coming to combined screening, try to remember a little bit of this slide. First of all, we've taken into account maternal characteristics. Maternal characteristics is maternal age, how many weeks of pregnancy are we talking about, and if she had a previous child with one of the trisomies. 13, 21, and 18. Ultrasound markers, we talked about nuclear translucency, nasal bone. We have another 2 markers that I have added. I won't go into details. This is tricuspid valve, this is the heart, and this is tricuspid valve regurgitation, which is another important marker, adding to the detection rate and reducing the false positive rates. And this is ductus venosus. This is a small vessel, a very important small vessel in the fetus that connects the blood from the umbilical vein that gets into the liver, and a good 20% of it, it takes it into the inferior vena cava, and so it gives oxygenated blood directly to the fetus. It's very important in the first trimester for the detection of Down syndrome babies, congenital heart malformations, but it's very important in late pregnancy after 28 weeks in determining fetal hypoxia. This is another important slide, one of the latest, 2016, same center, Fetal Medicine Foundation, and it's prospective validation first semester using all these markers: maternal age, nuclear translucency, fetal heart rate, free beta chorionic, and Papay, the 2 biochemical markers. 108,000 patients, 850 aneuploidies, 92 detection rate for 4% false positive rate. They've tried mathematically the other 2, one in 100, one in 10, and one in 1,000, but the screening positive populations were high. In 1 in 1,000 you get 98% of Downs, but you have 20% screening positive population. So the best is 1 in 100, you detect 92% of screening positive population for 4% screening positive. Multiple pregnancies. We knew from the beginning that nuclear translucency is our best tool to detect the risk for aneuploidy, and it's the thick sublucent area in the trunk of the baby. Sensitivity now with one of the later publications, because there are not many publications on twins on screening. It was 90% sensitivity for almost 6% false positive rates, and of course doctors are aware that twins are dizygotic, monozygotic, dichorionic, and monochorionic. The difficult ones are the monochorionic, because 16% they have a severe complication which is called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, and this gives a greater false positive rate because the nuclear translucency is bigger. And that's kind of something that you read every day, and now you might be finding in the big drugstores, even in the United States, and it's a big problem for all maternal fetal specialists in the world and in the United States also. It's cell-free fetal DNA. We have been working for decades trying to isolate in prenatal diagnosis, looking for non-invasive methods. During the era that we believed that amniocentesis and chorion villi sampling was responsible for 1% of fetal losses after the operation, now all the world has changed its mind and says it's less than 0.5% losses after an invasive procedure. We were very much interested in finding something in maternal blood that could put prenatal diagnosis. At the beginning, for many years, we have been focused on red blood cells of rhesus-positive women, in rhesus-negative women, to find rhesus-positive red blood cells. There have been tens, at least more than 1 decade, and I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars spent in research on that. It didn't give any results at all. This is the karyotypes that we used to work with in the past, and that's much better. And this is the modern karyotypes with better resolutions. We can see things much clearer, as you can see here, with a classical karyotype. But I come to free fetal DNA and to chromosomal microarray analysis. Two new things that we have now in everyday practice. A chromosomal microarray analysis is not a karyotype. Chromosomal microarray analysis detects other than aneuploid. It tells you if it's aneuploid or not by seeing the things, adding how much free fetal DNA you find in chromosome 21, for example. So it detects many losses and gains of continuous number variants of 2,000 kilobytes or 1 megabyte. And nowadays, with this chromosomal microarray analysis, we are aware of between 550 and 750 diseases with known phenotypes. The rest we don't know, and it's called VUS, variants of unknown significance. We should not discuss VUS with patients. It just gives anxiety to all these patients. It doesn't give a result. It's not associated with a specific pathological phenotype. There are two major papers published, one in 2012, New England Journal of Medicine, the other 2015, by very prominent people who are working here in the United States on this field. Ronald Wapner is the leader of these papers, and they showed, it's interesting to see here, this is 3,822 women with fetuses with normal karyotypes. They've done both for research reasons. They've done the classical screening and they've done the CGH arrays. And they found a 2.5% more information, abnormal information about the DNA of these fetuses. These were not aneuploid fetuses, no Down syndromes, no fetuses that had specific abnormal chromosomal abnormalities. These were fetuses with normal karyotypes, but they had a 2% more abnormal expression of DNA through the chromosomal microarray analysis. And it was more when in the cases where they were screened positive for Down, and there was no more when they were screened positive for congenital malformation. So what we know today, there have been other works from the pediatricians that they've done screening in newborns, and they're taking severe CMAs, chromosomal microarray analysis. and they had from 0.7 to 1.7% abnormal DNA analysis. And one prominent consultant geneticist in Athens, he said a few days ago in a congress, I have an abnormal CMA, but for the moment I look normal, I perform normally. Most probably I belong to the VUS, variants of unknown significance. But it is important when you find abnormal sonographic findings to have, besides the cardiac, to have this sort of intervention. It's from maternal blood, and you get very, very useful information about the DNA of these fetuses, and you can consult in the future through research. You can consult patients in the future that, okay, if you have this, you might have this pathologic phenotype that we know for the moment. We all know that the whole genome has been decoded, and there are parts of the genome that are of significance. There are parts of significance, and but the latest committee opinion, both of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists and the Society of Maternal Fetal Medicine, is that exons generally should be done only under clinical research protocols for the moment. It's not routine. One small explanation about free fetal DNA. This, perhaps the next slide will show you that. Let's say this is the whole free fetal DNA we get from maternal blood, and it should be at least 4% of the whole DNA must be there. Now, if this is trisomy 21, the chromosomes of trisomy 21, the DNA, the free DNA, not fetal. And this is, the other circles is chromosome 3. Now, we all know that the ratio between chromosome 21 and chromosome 3 is 20 to 80. And that's what they count, that's what they see. They don't differentiate in prenatal diagnosis for Down syndrome, for maternal blood. They don't differentiate fetal and maternal DNA. There are other methods in other things when you want to search. We have done this research years ago, and we have published it in prenatal diagnosis along with other scientists all over the world. For example, if we want to know the rhesus of the fetus in a rhesus negative mother married with a rhesus positive father at 10 weeks gestation, you can do it with maternal blood, but you have to separate maternal and fetal DNA. Here, you don't have to separate. This is a cumulative addition, as you're going to see. So if we have a trisomy 21, we have an additional chromosome on position 21, then we have more fetal DNA there, and they can add it, and they can see the difference. Now, there's a big work, I told you the second big work in New England Journal of Medicine by Wapner and Northrop, that they had in this big work that they've done both again. They've done classical screening, and they've done CGHRAs. They had 38 Down syndrome, trisomy 21 cases, and they've done both. They've done classical screening, and they found with classical screening 30 out of 38, and they found 38 Downs with this ACGHRA that they've done for research work. So they say this is the way perhaps to treat. But percent of population, it's advisable to have free fetal DNA testing. And out of this 20% of fetal DNA testing, they'll give you positives, they'll give you negatives, and they'll give you another 2% that they are non-conclusive. They cannot give an answer. They cannot give an answer because they don't have enough DNA on the specimen of examination. And these are the highest risk of carrying a Down syndrome baby or trisomy 18 or whatever. And on these, you have to do, again, another screening and change the cutoffs at 100 and see where it is. I will skip the rest, not to make you tired. For trisomies 13 and 18, they've been useless for fetal DNA. And we shall stick to the guidelines of the International Society of Ultrasound, Obstetrics and Gynecology that says that all women should have a first semester screening. I don't know if this is common practice in the United States. Now, aspirin has been in the simplest medications and the best. It has been proved. History goes 30 years ago, where the first time they've done, it's a very prominent figure in maternal fetal medicine. This is Serge Cousin from France. He has published this, Lancet 1985. I said, okay, we don't believe you, as many things. Then came another big study 20 years after with 32,000 patients. They said, it's not, aspirin is not important. But on this same study from Canada, Bujold and co-workers showed that if you give aspirin before 16 weeks, it's beneficial and reduces preeclampsia. And then we have the NICE guidelines, the ICO guidelines. I don't know why it goes like crazy like that. It's okay, no problem. And the FMF guidelines. And we come to this slide, which is an important piece of knowledge to have, that if you take all these risk factors that you see in the left side here, most of them are included in the ICO guidelines and in the Royal College guidelines, but they both have very high screen positive populations. If you take this under consideration, measure the arterial pressure, and there is a specific procedure to measure the arterial pressure. You cannot measure the arterial pressure to me as I am here right now. I have to sit on an armchair, rest for 10 minutes, and then take my blood pressure in both hands twice in 10 minutes. And this is the correct measurement of blood pressure in women. Uterine artery Doppler is very useful. Pregnancy-associated, plasma pregnancy-associated A, and placental growth factor, very important factors. Now, if we screen 11, 13 weeks, we get a detection rate of 90% for preeclampsia before 32 weeks. For you that you are not in medicine, preeclampsia is a very serious disease in pregnancy. It creates high blood pressure, swelling, and the basic pathophysiological mechanism is angiosperm, restriction of the vessels, pathology in the endothelium, multisystematic organic disease. You have damage in all organs through the endothelial damage and the vessel damage. So it's very important to detect at 11, 13 weeks who is going to have preeclampsia before 32 weeks. And we get up to 90% and 100% if we screen them 19 to 24 weeks when they're doing the second trimester screening. All this knowledge inspired Kypros Nikolaidis to go on a prospective randomized multi-center trial called ASPRE. 10 countries from Europe, Greece was among them. From Greece, my clinic was the only participating in this trial, and we are honored for that. And this was the hypothesis. I don't want to tie you up because you are not obstetricians and you are doctors, but the hypothesis was that if you take a statistical significant number of 33,000 women, and you suppose that you take the upper 10% of screen positive, and if you suppose that half of them will accept to participate in this prospective randomized trial, then you might have reduction of preeclampsia by giving 150 milligrams of aspirin and not 80 milligrams of aspirin that was given in the past. And there is academic evidence why has therapeutic levels from 150 milligrams upwards aspirin. 80 milligrams aspirin does nothing, like perhaps in rheumatology, if you give 100 milligrams of aspirin, it's nothing. You have to give 300 milligrams to have therapeutic therapeutic effect. This is our team in Athens, and this is the part that contributed with 1,500 women screening. And last December, this is what we are going to see in New England Journal of Medicine. Perhaps it's e-paper now, or it's going to come next month. Last author is, I think, Kypros Nikolaidis. It was exciting that we found that in this population that we administered 150 milligrams of aspirin, which were in the highest 10% high risk for having preeclampsia before 34 weeks. We expected a 50% decrease. It has been documented that it was 80% decrease. So for a disease that is so serious in pregnancy, life-threatening for women, to being able to cure from the first trimester with 150 milligrams of aspirin, I think it's a major breakthrough equal to nuchal translucency. So with this piece of information, I would like to stop here and thank you for once again for your attention.
Hopefully, we're going to see you next year again at the same time, and we'll have again Dr. Papanikolaou in the symposium. So the Hellenic Medical Society of New York presents to you the Dr. George N. Papanikolaou Award to Dr. Nikolaos Papadoniou in recognition of his contributions to women's health. May 23rd, 2017. Also, I learned that the Dr. Papanikolaou book that the Hellenic Medical Society has helped in publishing is also online now, free on archives.org of Google. So archives.org, you can find Dr. Papanikolaou book of the Hellenic Medical Society that lists much of the information that you learned about and heard today.
And this concludes our wonderful event, the 2017 Dr. Papanikolaou Symposium. Thank you for joining us.
Congratulations again to everyone, to the organizers of the annual Dr. Papanikolaou Symposium. It was very well attended tonight at Weill Medical College of Cornell University in New York City. For their support, the Panevoikos Society, Dr. Frank Chervenak, who is the chairman of obstetrics gynecology here, and he has been a great supporter of the society and the Dr. Papanikolaou Symposium. And we're looking forward to having an exceptional year, and next year again to give an award to a distinguished medical professional who's related to Dr. Papanikolaou's work.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you to NGTV for always being with us and for offering such great services to us. And we look forward to many more events with you.
MGTV USA. Οι δραστηριότητες της ελληνοαμερικανικής κοινότητας με βίντεο και πλήρες ρεπορτάζ. Επισκεφτείτε την ιστοσελίδα μας mgtvusa.com. Καλύπτουμε καθημερινά τα γεγονότα στην Ομογένεια.